Welcome to VA Tech Work. So today we are going to continue building our admin dashboard. As you can see here in the last video, we created this homepage here that we have the gauge chart here. We have also this donut for displaying the donors information. We are also these charts here that we created, and also we created the prospect page here. So in this video, we are going also to look at other pages. So for example, in this application here, if you go to the donors here and click on a new donors button here, you'll be able to see that we have this page that you can be able to add the donor and also select other things like their blood group type here. So another thing is that when you come to the prospect here and you go to approve here, you'll be able to see that we have also this page here where you can click on approve and be able to approve the prospect. And when you approve the prospect will be now the donor. So if I come here to the donors and also click on edit, you'll be able to see this page here where you can be able to edit your donor or the donor information. For example, you can update the date that they have donated blood so that the system will be able to now register that this date is when they have donated blood. So I think now that is a good introduction. So kindly remember also to subscribe to this YouTube channel and also like this video. So now let's get into the tutorial. So we are going to start by creating now the page that we are calling new donor. So let's come here into the pages, and under here for the pages here, I'm going to create new. Let me just create new donor like that. .jsx like that, and here I'm going to add the component, or I'm going to use this shortcut to create this page, and I'm going to remove this because we are not going to need it right now. The other thing is that also I need to create a donor page. So let me create donor page where we can be able to edit the donors information. So like that, and here we can be able to add RFCE to be able to create the page. Now I'm going to remove this importation for React because we are not going to need it right now. So I'm going to at least save this and also close. And the other page that you are going to require here is the prospect. So I'm going to add here the prospect page, so like that, and then I can use this information or this shortcut here to create this page. Also the same, I'm going to remove that like that, and then now here I'm going to just close this, and I'm going to register these pages in app.jsx here where we have our outline our layout. So here I'm going to add those pages here. So I'm going to copy that, and then I can be able to paste it here. I'm going to specify, for example, this one will be for the prospect, and then for the prospect here we are going to require the ID. So I'm going to add here ID like that, so that we can go to the prospect page. So let me import now here the prospect page. So let me try to auto complete. So here I can see only the prospect. I cannot be able to see the prospect. So I'm going to import up here that page. So let me import prospect from now the pages here, and also I'm going to import from the prospect right here. Also the other thing is I'm going to import donor. So let me import donor from, I'm going to import from pages and donor, so right there. And the other thing is that I'm going to import now donor, I think it's new donor, new donor page from the pages, so pages right here. And also we are going to import it from new donor right here. So now the other thing is that we can continue here and now add the prospect page. And the other thing is we are going to add here now, after this we can have donors here. So the donors, we are going to require donors here. So let's add donors. And the other thing is that actually here it is actually this one should be not donors here, it should be donor or new donor. Let's just add new donor here. So new donor, and this will be, let's add here new donor like that. And then the other thing here is that we need also to have donors page where we can be able to edit. So this one will be just donor, and then you're going to have an ID now like that. So here we need to specify that is a donor, so donor like that. And then I think that's okay now. So we have created now the other pages that we are going to require in our application right here. So what I'm going to do is that, let me first of all go to the donors page. So right here, actually this is not the donors page. I think this one here. So because we have donors page here, and you can be able to see that let me see here. Actually, let's go to the I think, yeah, donors here. But if you come here, you'll be able to see that we have this part here that we call new donor, the button. And this part here, we need to wrap it using a link from React Router DOM. So I'm going to cut everything here and wrap it using link. And this link should be from React Router DOM. So let me import, I think, let me just see here. Let me just add it inside here now, the button. And then the other thing is I want to see if I have imported it from React Router DOM, because it has not been imported. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to import it. Actually, I have imported it. You can be able to see it here as a line 2 here. So let me add now. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add here to which page that I want to go. So for this case, I'm going to go to new donor. So new donor, and we can be able, actually it's a new donor here, and we can be able to see here if this is how we have added it. Yeah, you can see this one is has a capital D, but I'm going to change it to have a small d here. And then let's see if this will now work. So if we, in our application, if we come to the donors here and try and go to new donor, be able to see that we don't have this page, and I don't know why we don't have this page. So actually it's because we need to have added here the new donor should be /new donor or /admin, sorry, and then /new donor right there, because we don't have /new donor. So because that is we have abandoned. Let me just go back here, and when I click here, you'll be able to see now new donor here, and this is where we can be able now to style our page. So if I come here and then come to new donors here, you can be able to see how it looks. So let's do that. This will be very simple now. And then let me close this, and we can go to now new donor here and start creating the application. So what we can do is that here we need to start styling. So the first thing that I'm going to add here is the class name. So for the class name here, I'm going to add to have a flex, because if you check here, we in this application we have this part here and this part. So we need to have two parts. The one holds the inputs from the name here to the email, and the other one from the weight here to the diseases. So let me add here. Let me add the styling. So this one we want them to be aligned at the center, or to be in the same line. And also I'm going to have a justify to be center, and also mean height. We are going to add at least mean height screen, so that it will be at least centered. So the other thing is we are going to have two div. So this one here, and we are going to have another div right here. and these two divs, the one holds the name input, or this part here and this part here. So those are two parts. So here I'm going to start by styling this one here, and for this I'm going to give it a margin. First of all, a margin of 20 pixels, and also I'm going to give it a padding of 20 pixels. I'm going to give it a height of 80 VH, 80 V height, and also I'm going to give it a width of 450 pixels. So 450 pixels. I'm going to copy the styling here and then paste it down here like that. So inside here now I'm going to have now the other inputs now. So first of all, I'm going to start by heading here. I'm going to add new donor like that, and then here I can be able to style this, so class name, and then here I can be able to give it like a font bold to be font weight to be semi-bold like that. If I check now in my application here, be able to see that we have this new donor right here, and if you want to add the text you can do that. So in my case here, I think that I have added like this styling is too much, but we can leave it like that. So after that, now let's have another div now inside here, and this div here will be able to hold now the inputs and the label. So inside here we can have the now class name, and then here we can have flex, and we want this to have a flex direction of column, and the other thing is margin of vertical to be at least 12 pixels like that. So now inside here we can have the label and the input. So the first one here will be label, and then this one will be the name. And for the input here, so let's have the input right here. So for the input, I want first of all to have the placeholder. So the placeholder here, we are going to add it as the holder, the hint. So James Doe here. So the other thing is we can have the class name. So let's have the class name here, and the class name we are going to add the border, and then we can have the now the border color, which is dark color here. We are going to have a border of 2, that is like the width or the height, that is. We are going to have a border to be solid, so border solid. And then the other thing that we are going to have is the padding. So for the padding here, we are going to give it a 10 pixels, and then we can have the width of, let's say, 300 pixels like that. And then when I do this, I can come back now to my application and see. So you can see here we have the label here, and you can add the name here. So for this one, I think is the same here. So what we can do is now we can copy this and paste it several times. So we can paste it here, and this one now will be for the address. So for the address here, like that, anything you can add here for the placeholder, you can add anything. So for example, 123 downtown, downtown, maybe something like Sydney. And then also we can have the other part here. So for this part here, let me also format the code because the code is not aligned here. So here we can have the tail or the telephone number, and then here we can have the placeholder. Here we can have maybe, for example, the telephone. So let me add it like that. I think that's okay. Now after this one, we can have also, after the telephone, we can have the blood group. So for the blood group, this one will be select. So I'm going to add here. Actually, we can just add here. Let's just add blood group. and I think this one we can just copy from the this here we have a contact, because remember this one should be selecting, not just writing it. So I'm going to copy here from the label. I think this one is okay. Now select option here. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it here from this part like that. And then I think this one I can be able to now format, and then let me continue with this input, the label and the input. So this was label and selection. So inside here also we can have the, after the blood group type, we can have other like email. So this one we have email here, and also we can have now the here for the email we can just add, for example, Jane Doe at example.com, like that. And then also we can have the other one here. After this one we can have the weight, so format here. So this one we can have it as a weight, and also we can have now the weight here to be, first of all, this one should be number, so that actually this one should be number here, so that you only need to type in the number like that. So this one I can add here like a placeholder here. We can give it like 50 kgs. So let me just add here 50 kgs like that. And now after we have the weight, now we can have the date also. So we have the date here, and then date, and for the date here we can change this input from now the text here to date, because we need to have where we can select the date, and then here we can give it, for example, 2024 July, and then date 29, something of the sort. We can have also, if we have the, here we have diseases also. So if we have any disease, so I think this also I can be able to get it from here, because this is a text area. And you can see also here I didn't format my code, so let me format my code right here using Prettier. So this one is okay. Now let me format here, and paste the, here we paste the this disease here. So I'm going to format this code also, and then also we can have now the other part. Actually, I think now we can have, I think this part here, let me see. So let me see from which part here, from the weight here, we need to have it in a different section, because if you check here, be able to see all of them are in the same, let's say here you can see they are on the same line here, but we don't want that. So to do that, I'm going to cut everything here from this part, actually, like that, and then can be able to add them in a different section. So let me just copy this until somewhere here, and then we can add them in this here, in this part here. So for this one also we can have a div, and inside here we can paste our code, but here we need also to make sure that we add now the class name. We can add it to be flex, and flex column, like that. And then if I format my code here like that, and then let's go back to application here, you'll be able to see that they have been that they are here. So what we can do also is to make sure that we can copy this styling here, and because if you check here, you can be able to see that, for example, for the selection here we don't have like the border, and also for the input for the text area. So let's do that. So here for the selection, I'm going to add that styling here, like that. Let me paste it here. I think where is the problem? I think this part here. Yeah, I think it should be like that. And also for the text area here, we need also to change this styling, and then we give that styling to be uniform. So let's see how it looks like. Yeah, I think now that's okay. But here you can see we have a problem here. Do you have any disease? I think for this label here, you should not have like this here. So let me just uh, remove that styling there and add it here. So I think this is where it should be. So let me add it there. So where is the problem? I think here we need to add that quotation marks. So after this, now I can format my code, and if I go back here, I'll be able to see that do you have any disease? You can see name, address here. So here I need to add now the button now. So for the button here, so I'm going to add it right here, and this one is for create now. So create, and here we can add now the styling. So class name, here we can be able to add the background color. So the background color here, we can give it a dark one. So that color, and then we can have the cursor to be pointer. We are going to have now the text to be white, text white here. We can have also the padding here to be having a padding of 10 pixels. We can have the width here to be of 300 pixels, and I think this is just okay now. If I save this and come back here, you'll be able to see now we have this part here, and let's make sure that we have the margin. So I'm going to add margin vertical here, and then we can give it a margin of 10 pixels like that. I think that will be just okay. So after that, now you can see we have this create here. So I think that's all that I wanted right here. And I think, yeah, that's everything. So now we are going to create other pages. For example, the other pages that we are going to create here is that when you come to the donors here and click on edit, you can be able to see that we have this part here, and you can see it is actually almost similar to this. So this is something that we are going to change. Is a small thing that we are going to change here. So let's do that. So for this one, you can be able to see that we need to come to donors and then we edit. So to do that, I'm going to come to the donors here, and I'm going to cross actually I'm going to just then copy everything that is inside this new donor here, because I'm going to just paste that in our donors page. So let me copy this from here up to this part here, like that, copy that, and then I'm going to close this page. And for edit here, you'll be able to see that here already I had created the route for that. So you can be able to see, for example, this edit here, donors, and then 1 2 3 here. But this now we can just make sure that we pass in the ID of that donor. So here we need to add the params so that we can be able to access the ID. So, and then here we can be able to use extrapolation, and here we can say params dot rows and then dot underscore ID, like that. That's how we can be able to at least select the ID and the ID of that donor. So if I save that and then come back to my project here to the donors here and select here, you can be able to see that we can see this one is undefined. So if I try and click that edit here, you can see that is undefined, and that because we are not selecting this donor from our database. What I'm going to do is just that I'm going to leave it the way it was. Like we need to just have it. Let me just come here and add admin here, and then we need up here we need to change this, and we need to just add here /admin, and then the donors here, and then the ID. So if I save that and come back here, try hover over it. So if I try to go this part, you can see we have the donor right here, this page here, and we can open the donor here, and after this one we can paste the code here like that. And when I save that, come back here, you'll be able to see that we have this information right here. So I'm going to change here. So let me just come from up here. I'm going to change this now to donor. And then here I can be able to change. I want to just remove this border here, or to change this border to be on the bottom only. So what I'm going to do here is, let me just make sure that I remove this styling. I don't know why the styling is giving me a hard time. So let me just remove this here and style it the way I want the border. So here I'm going to first of all give the border bottom. So border bottom, you can add it like that. We can have a border 2 here. We can have a border, then bottom, and then we can just specify the color that I want, and then here we can have the border to be solid. So border solid, and then also we can have outline none, like that. And then padding, we can have the padding of 10 pixels, and also we can have the width of 300 pixels like that. So if I save this and then come back to my application, you'll be able to see here that actually we don't here we don't have the let me see. So it is not working the way it is supposed to be. So this one we have border bottom 2, border bottom color here, border solid, outline should be none, and also the width here should have a width of, let's say, 500 pixels, like that. So, and then here this, the outline is none, yeah, like that. So let's come back here. Yeah, you can see here it has worked, but this wind is very big, so this one will be 300. Let's see. If I do that, you can be able to see now it's working right there. So let's do that. So I'm going to copy this styling here and paste it in every, for example, for this one, for the address here. So paste it there. We are going to change for the font here also. Let me do that. Change it like that. We are going to also change for the blood group here. I think this one we can just leave it like that, or we can, yeah, let's just leave like that. Here for the email, we can change this like that. And then for the weight here also, let us leave it, or let's change. And then for the date here also, we are going to change it like that. And for the iPhone here, so also we are going to change this. Let me also check for the this one, this text here, text area. And then also I want to change this button here to not create but update. So update like that, then save this. And then if I come back here, be able to see that now we don't have like the border in all direction. So I think that's okay, but also we need to remove this here. Let's just add the border here to be just bottom, because I think this is a little bit weird. So I'm going to come here to blood group, and we can, in our select here, we can make sure that I add that there, and then also I want to remove the styling for my label here for the select, so like that. And then let's see, yeah, I think that's okay now. So here we can be able to add the information that we want to update and then update that information. But in our case now, we are going to display here the information that is already in the database, so that if you want to update, you can update that. So I think now we have this other page for the now for detailed donors page. So what we can also create now is the other page. Let me go to the other page here. If you check for the prospect here and click here approve, you need to go to this one, should bring you to the page where you need to update or to be able to update that prospect. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just close this donors contact here, and donors here. I'm going to go to prospect here, and for the prospect here, I'm going to make sure for the link here, I'm going to add /admin here like that, and then prospect, and then /123 here as an ID. So now let's style this part or this page for the prospect here. So we are going to add the class name here, and the first thing that you are going to do is to give it these items here to be, or this part here that we are calling our main div here, and we can give it just a flex, or even we can just leave it like that. I think there's no need for styling this div here. And now the other thing is inside here, we can have now the card that holds the information. If you check here, you can be able to see this part here. So let's do that. So I'm going to add a class name here. And this one, we are going to give it a margin of 20 pixels. So 20 pixels here, we are going to have a height of 80 VH. So 80 V height here. I'm going to have now the width here to be 450, so 450 pixels. And also I'm going to have a shadow of large, so LG like that. And then when I save this and then come back to my application here for the blood donation, here you can be able to see that we have this part here that should hold now the information. So also I think we can make sure that we have tree-centered it. So here I'm going to add a class name, and I'm going to say here flex items to be center. I'm going to have a justify here to be center also, and I'm going to have a mean height and then screen like that. And when I save that, if I save that and come back here, you'll be able to see that it has been now at least have a space here or the margin. So after that, now we can have inside here the information. So we are going to have a heading. So for this heading here, we are going to just add it as a prospect, and we can be able to style it here. Class name, we can have this one to be font to be semi bold like that. Also, we are going to give a margin of 30 pixels like that. So after that, now we can have an ordered listing, so an ordered list here, and then we can be able to style it here. So for example, we can give a class name here. We can just style it and give it a margin of 30 pixels, 30 pixels. Now we can have the information inside here now as a list. So for the list here, we can have a class name also for the styling. So have a class name here, and for this one we can give a margin top of, let's say, 14 pixels, so 14 pixels. And now we can have the strong where we are going to add, like for example, the name. So if you check here, you'll be able to see that we have this bold part here, and we have now this part that is not bolded. So we are going to have, for example, the name here, we can add to be John Doe, like that. We can also make sure, let me first of all format my code. I'm going also to copy this and paste it here. I'm going to also add address. So for the address here, we are going to add the address to be 123 maybe downtown. So downtown Sydney, Sydney here, like that. And also I'm going to add this one here. After the name here, we can add also the phone number, which you are going to call tel. So here I'm going to add now the phone number here, like that. We can add anything. So I'm just adding dummy information. So for actually, let me paste it here. For this one, after the tel here, we can have the blood type. So blood type here. So for this one, I can just add maybe, for example, the prospect doesn't know. So I'm going to say here, not applicable, or unknown. Let me just add unknown, like that. I think that's good. And also right here, we can have after the name here, we can have the diseases. So if there's any disease, here I can be able to add none. So for example, here none. And also I can have another here. For after the diseases, we can have the date. So for the date here, we can have maybe to be 2024, and then 12/01, something of the sort, maybe any date. And let's paste another one here. After the date here, we can have the weight. So weight here. And for the weight here, we can add anything. For example, this one we can add 50 kgs. And now we have the other one here. So actually this one is just we need to paste it here. And after the weight, we can have the status. So we can have the status here, and we can say the status is pending. Status to be pending right here. So pending, like that. And then now we have been left now by just add the other part here. So for this part, we need to just come out of the styling and have another part here. So this part is this one that asks, do you want to approve maybe the name of the donor? So I'm going to copy this and paste it here, like that. And also I'm going to have a button here. So a button, and then here this button is for approve, like that. So if I just make sure that I come back here and see, so you can be able to see that we have these two here. You can see we have this for, do you want to approve James to a donor, something of the sort. And also you can see this one, all of them are bolded, and I don't want them to be bolded, all of them. So I think there's somewhere that is actually, I know where the problem is. I think this one should be actually be here. So after this, add it there. So also let me remove this, and it should be after strong tag here. This also here should be after strong tag right there. So let me remove this one for unknown here. And then this one, we don't want them to be bold, all of them. So also this one, none here, can remove that. And then also I want to remove this one here, like that, and paste it here. For this, for weight here, the same. I'm going to add it here. And also I'm going to add for the padding here, I'm going to remove and add it here. So like that, I think now if I check here, you can be able to see that now all of them are not bolded. And then the other thing is, let me see if I can make them to be on the flex direction, and then let me just add here flex direction to be column like that. Let me save this, and then when I come back here, be able to see that they have been aligned here. You can see now have been aligned this way, but also I don't want that. Let me just remove that, and here I can be able to style this text here. So class name, I'm going to add the class name here. I'm going to add the display to be block, so that they cannot be in line. So like that, you can be able to see it here. The other thing that I want to add here is can give a margin of 10 pixels, and also here we can have the class name. So for this class name here, we can add it to have a background color of red, and then this one I'm going to give a 500 variation. I'm going to give a text to be white. I'm going to have a cursor to be pointer, so cursor pointer, and also I can have the padding to be of 50 pixels. Yeah, and actually not 5 pixels, sorry. So this one should be 5 pixels, and also I can have the width here to be 150 pixels, and then we can have the margin to be also 10 pixels like that. So if I save this and come back here, you'll be able to see now we have this part where we can approve, and the same looks for this one here. So now the only thing that we have been left with in our front end is now our login page. So if I come here to the login, so let me add login route here. If we go to login here, you can be able to see that this is the login page. So I'm going to have to create that login page here. So let's do that. So now let's go to the login here, login page, and we are going to style our login page. So I'm going to come here, and to see our login page, I'm going to come to home page, and when I click on logout, you can be able to see this login page here. So you can see even we have the some animation here for the button. Also here you can see when you click that, you have an outline that is red here. So let's do that. I'm going to just remove this text here, and for example in this, if you check, you have this part here for the image, and you have this part that holds the inputs here and also the button. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have a class name, and this one I'm going to add it to be flex. I'm going to have items to be center, because I want to center the card that holds the image and also the input. I'm going to add the justify to be center like that, and I'm going to give it a mean height, so mean height screen like that, and also I can give it a background color of gray, so like 100 like that. So let me just check here and see how it looks. So if I come here, you can be able to see this part here is a grayish, but it has a grayish color. So the other thing is we can add another div here now that holds now the image and also the input. So I'm going to have a div here, and this one we are going to make sure that we style it. So for this one, I'm going to add also the flex, because I want the image, and also I need the image and also the input to be side by side. I'm going to add the items to be center here, and also I want the background color for them to be white, so that it can be displayed very clearly. We are going to have a shadow of large, and also we are going to have rounded to be large. Yeah, we are going to have overflow to be hidden if there's any overflow to be hidden, so like that. And then now inside here we can have now the first part here that holds the image. So, and also we can have the other part here that holds now the inputs. So let me add them inside here. So this one for the image, I'm going to add a class name, and for this one I'm going to give it a height of 500 pixels. So 500 pixels. I'm going to give it a width also of 500 pixels. 500 pixels. I'm going to also give the transition. So for a bit of animation, I'm going to give it a transition and transition in form of transform. And then after that, I can give it the duration that I want it to animate, and I'm going to give it to be 700 like that. And I'm going to give it is in out or is in out, and also I can give a transform of, so the transform here, and when you hover over it, it should scale trace scale by 105, so 105 like that. So then inside here now, this is where we are going to add the image. So for my image here, the source here, we have already that image in hello1.jpg, and also we are going to have another, maybe for the alt here, I'm going to add login, and we are going to have a class name here that, and we are going to add object to cover the whole card cover like that, and also we are going to give it height to be full, and also the width to be full, so like that. So if I save on this and then go back and check here, you'll be able to see that we have the this image here that at least cover all the this card here. And you can see when you hover over it, it has a animation in that case. So another thing is here I can be able to format this, and now we can continue with this other part here. So that holds the input. So I'm going to add the class name here, and for my class name here, I'm going to add the padding to be having a padding of 10, and then also I'm going to give a width of 500 pixels. So 500 pixels like that. I'm going to start by having the heading here as a heading 2, and this heading is login. I'm going to add class name here. So for the class name, I'm going to give it a text large of 2XL. I'm going to have a font to be bold like that, and also I'm going to give a text to be gray, and also if it is gray then 600, and also I'm going to give it a margin bottom of let's say 1 like that. I think this one or 5, let's add 5, and if I save this and then come back here, be able to see that we have the login here, and you can see it is the same width also. So the other thing is after that here, for the heading, we can have now the form. So let's add form here like that. Actually it's let's add it here inside. So this, for the form here, I want to give it like a class name, and I'm going to remove the action here for now. So I'm going to have here the class name, and we are going to give it a space vertical of 5 like that. Also the other thing I'm going to have inside here is a div. So for the div inside here, we are going to have we are going to have now the label, and for the label here I'm going to have this as an email, and also we are going to have the input here. So input like that, and then we need to style this, and this because if you check here, you'll be able to see this one are very styled. If you come here, you can see they are not styled, so we need to style first of all for the label here, let's add the class name here, and for the label we can be able to at least give it for the label we can give it like a display to be block, and then also I can give it a text to be gray, gray 600, and also I can give a margin bottom of 1 like that. And then if I save this, come back here, you'll be able to see there's that, so label. And the other thing for the input, so for the input here I can be able to add, like for example the type here should be email, because this is an email input. Also we can have a class name, and for this class name here, I think here I need also to add the ID to be also email. And also we can have now the placeholder here before we style it. So for the placeholder here we can add something like example at example.com, and then now we can start styling. So for the styling here we can give it the width to be full. Also I'm going to give it padding X to be 4. I'm going to give a border, to add a border here. So let's add a border, and this border we can give it a color, so a border of gray, and then we are going to give a variation of gray which is 300. I'm going to add rounded to be MD, so that, or medium. And another thing is we can give a focus and focus. So when you focus on it, and we can give it outline, so outline here, or we need to have outline to be none. And also we can have the, when you focus here now, we can give now the ring which has a width of 2, and also we can have the color of that for the input here. We can have the ring here to have a red color of 500 like that. So let's see, and here, so if I come back here, you'll be able to see that we have this, and when you click on it you can see that we have like this ring here that has a color of red when you focus on it. But I think we can add also the padding, so let's add the padding here. So for the padding, I think we need to have a padding Y also. I think this is also because we have padding X, we need to also have padding like that. I think, yeah, you can see it is taking shape. And now this one we can just be able to copy this here and paste. So for this one we can copy it like that, copy, and then paste it here for the password now. So let's add here, this label should be for the password here. So let's add the password, so password here. And another thing is here for the type, this one is password like that. And for the email here, or for the ID here, is also password like that. And then here we can just add for the password here, the placeholder here can be just asterisks, so that to show that the password will be hidden. So if I come back here, you'll be able to see that now we have this one for the password, and then we need to have a button here. So for the button, you can add it just here, down here. So let's add the button, and for the button here, this one is login. So login like that, and then let us style here. So the first thing that I need to add here is the type of the button is for submit. So submit like that, and let's now focus on styling the button. So class name here. So we are going to give it the width to be full. Also we can give it padding Y of 2. we can give it a background color to be red, variation of it, and also we can give the text to be white here. We can give it the font to be bold. Let's add it to be bold here. Also, we can give rounded to be medium, so rounded MD, and also we can have transition, because this we need also to have like the animation, so we can give the transition here to be transform. After that, we can give the duration that we want to animate to be 700, and I think we can have when you hover over it, you can have the background color to be red, and then we can give it a variation of red. Then it becomes active, we can add 600, and then we can give a focus. When you focus on it, should give an outline to be none, so here. And also we can give the ring, so focus, give a ring, we have width of 2, we can have a focus here also. And for this one we are going to have a red ring, so this one is for 500. And also we can give a transformation or transform, and then hover. When you hover over it, it should scale to 105 like that. I think that's all that you need to do here. So if I save this, you can be able to see that when you focus on it, it enlarges. There's this animation here. So now we have been left with this part here for the this text here. So we can do that. Let me first of all format my code here. So after the button here, we need to have now the text. So let me add it, I think here. So let's have a div, and then this one we can have the span that says, let me just add here. Let me come back here and copy this. Do not have an account, so that if you don't have an account, you can be able to. Actually, we can just leave it like that, because honestly, that we don't need to sign up, because this is only admin who will be able to log in, and we can add the information in the database for the admin. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to just save it like that in here, and we'll be able to see that we have this login here for the admin. So the admin should enter the email here and the password. So now the last thing that I have been left with is to make sure that I push my code now. So I'm going to come here to my code here, and then first of all do git branch, and you can see we are in the front end branch. So I'm going to add here git push origin, and then actually I need to first of all add the code, and then git push origin, and then this one we should push in the front end like that. And then let me add the passphrase here like that. And then it is saying everything is up to date. I don't know why. So okay, for the front end. Okay, that's weird, but I don't know why it is saying that. So here I'm going to add another branch. So the other branch that we need to have here is the integration. So let's have the integration here. If I do git branch, and then you can see here we have this integration branch that we have created. So I'm going to switch to that, because in the next video we are going to start integration. So integration like that, and then you can see here, let me now try and push this integration here, origin integration, see if it will work. So let me add the passphrase here and then try and push the code. So yeah, there's a code that has been pushed, and you can see the pull request here. I can be able to copy this link here, and when I paste here, let me see. So when I paste here, it should take me to the pull request part. So you can see here we don't have anything to compare. So I'm going to also come here under my REPL and then go here to full stack application here, and you find all the information or the code here. So that is it. I don't want this video to be longer than this. It's long enough. And then also the other thing is, don't forget to subscribe and also like this video, and also don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified the next time I upload the next video. So from the other video, we are going to start integration. So have a great day. See you on the next video.